Hi friends, it's Raina. I wanted to let you know that the video you are about to watch is actually over a year old. This is because I decided to do a secondary channel to follow what it was like being a mermaid mom, but all of my mermaid mom content went really popular on my main channel. So I've decided to merge these channels back together. Some of the things you are going to watch may be slightly out of date, but also an interesting time capsule. I just really wanted to have all of the content back in one place. Thanks again for supporting me, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Hello folks, it's Raina and River here. It's been a little while since we filmed a narrative for a video. You've been seeing our videos scheduled because we did them all in advance, and this one's coming a little sooner on the heels of the other one. And the reason it's sort of taken us so long and some time has passed and River is giant now is because we actually experienced COVID twice in our household, once for me and then once for River, right after this gig that we're going to be talking about. So that really just put a damper on things. And then when we were healthy, we had Sean's family visit from out of country, so that just kept us busy. So yeah, a lot has changed. Today we're talking about our trip to New Brunswick. Where are you going? You decided to crawl on camera. You just decided that that's what you were gonna do. Uh-oh, my hands are about to be full. So we went to New Brunswick to the Algonquin Hotel for March break, which is like our version of spring break, but much shorter than what you get in the States. We only get a week for spring break. Yeah, it was really fun, but we're gonna talk about the actual gig itself and getting there and all that stuff. While we were there, we were at an aquarium, and I'm gonna do a separate video on the aquarium, and I'm probably gonna do a separate video about dealing with COVID in terms of having a mermaid business and having a family, because that could be a whole video on itself. Yeah, buddy, because River had it and he's feeling much better now, but it was a bit intense when he had it. So winding back to the beginning of March, River was 6 months, almost 7 months old, and we were driving to the Algonquin, and it took us 6-ish hours because we had to take breaks and everything. I'm still breastfeeding River, and of course we had to change him, and it's good for babies to get them out of their car seat and everything too. So the ride there was pretty rough. Yeah, you saw the video clip, right? Lots of screaming. This little table that we could put over his lap with all of his toys and goodies. We had noise-canceling headphones. We had the tablet full of cocoa melon, which is your favorite. You're watching it right now on mute. You're so goofy. It's like you know mommy's doing a video, so you want to play. Here you go, darling. It was a bit intense. River has never really done very well in the car ever since he was very, very little, and we've actually tried 2 different car seats now to make it easier for him. And I was pretty stressed about it, and it was intense. Plus we're driving through the snow and the bad weather. You tell them about the car, buddy? Yeah. But the good news is ever since this long trip, he's actually been way better in the car, I've found. So maybe it helps, I don't know. But yeah, the drive there was brutal. It was brutal. When we got there, it was late in the evening, and we just sort of wanted to get organized and get the lay of the land and look around. There weren't a huge amount of guests there. The Algonquin, it's not like a super pricey resort, but it is a little higher end, you know? It's got its own golf course and the pools, and it's over 100-year-old building that has been restored. So it's got that really old-timey feel to it with a bit of a modern twist. There are several restaurants. I gotta say that the food prices, they were kind of pricey before, but they really went up since the pandemic, and that is understandable. It's happened everywhere. Maybe not like as prepared for that as we could have been. So after the gig, after the fact, we found out we could have requested a little mini fridge, and we could have brought up some groceries and kept some food with us. So this was sort of my first mistake, that if you are going to do a gig where you have to travel, whether it's on your own or you've got a baby like me, you should probably find out if there's a kitchen that you have access to, or if you can request a Did you just toot on me? You should find it if there's a kitchen you have access to, or if you can request like a microwave or a little mini fridge. We found out that our friends that were also working this event with us, that they actually did that, and we didn't know we could do that. We didn't see it on the website or talk to anybody about that. It would have been a lot easier for us because there were no grocery stores anywhere in this area. We would have had to drive. It would have taken us 40 minutes to get groceries. Thank you, River. You can hold the phone, honey, to help. There you go. There you go. See, I like for you guys to see this kind of stuff because this is real life, right? This is what it's like trying to YouTube, trying to be a mom with a business with a baby. So I try not to censor too much of it. We keep it for funny clips at the end, but I also want you to see real life, okay? Yeah, if I could do it all over again, and I don't know if we can do this booking next year or not because I will be back to full-time work and it's a week off. If I'm not gonna make more money doing this than my day job, it's not really worth it for me. But maybe some of my other mermaids will be available, I don't know. If I had to do it over again, I would make sure that we could bring some food with us and keep it in the fridge and use the microwave so that we wouldn't have to blow our budget on food. The other thing that we ran into is that gas prices went up the day before we went, and this had a lot to do with the economy right now, and it happened all around the world, not just here, but it was quite the hike. And so the price that we had quoted them in gas, our travel fee, probably should have been double. So what we kind of did was we took our per diem, which is your fee for food. We tried to stretch that for our food and to kind of make up for some of the gas money as well. And we do drive a hybrid, so that helped a lot. But yeah, those are just kind of two things you want to be careful of. Make sure you're quoting yourself fairly and accurately so that you can feed yourself and drive yourself there without losing money, right? Otherwise, you're doing these gigs. You want to make somewhat of a profit, but at the very least, you have to break even, right? We had a really nice night. Sean brought the Jolly Jumper for River, which was the smartest thing. I was so skeptical of this idea, but in the end, it was a really good thing to do. And they had just dropped most of the mandates just as we got there in terms of the pandemic. So people still had to wear masks in the common areas. So Sean and I would take turns walking with River in the baby carrier wearing masks, and he got to know all of the staff and a lot of the guests. It was really sweet. And that first night, honestly, it went pretty well. River slept really well. We had 2 queen size beds, and I requested that because River and I co-sleep. We did not have room in the car for anything extra. Between our stuff, the baby stuff, and the mermaid stuff, we could not have fit a pack and play. We could not have fit a bassinet or anything. We borrowed bed rails from Mermaid Emma and we put them on the bed with me and River, and that worked perfectly because then he couldn't roll off the bed. So Daddy had a bed and River and Mommy had a bed, and they were lovely beds, and we had a great sleep, really great sleep while we were there. River actually slept so well the entire time we were there. I was really surprised. He did a great job with his naps. He did a great job overnight. I think also because the environment was so nice and cozy and dark, and even though it was March break and there were lots of kids running around, we didn't actually really hear them that much at nighttime, so it kind of worked out perfectly. So day 1 was a Saturday, and we are being joined by our friends at Serpentine Studios, who are fantastic, and how it's working is the kids that are attending, the parents have bought a package that is a family package for a few days or the week or whatever, and it includes entertainment for the kids. And so Mom and Dad can kind of go off and have a dinner, and the kids can go swim with the mermaid, or go do a circus lesson, or go watch the belly dancers perform, or they had some turtles and a bird that you could visit, and crafts and things. Normally they had a lot more stuff, but with COVID again, things were kind of like not as much, right? Only things we could do safely. So ours was the first thing in the morning, and I do myself up. I have 3 different looks plus a backup look just in case a tail breaks or something. I do myself up in my look. I get in the pool and there's like nobody there, which is very strange because the first time we did this gig, we were overwhelmed and we thought that we would need more mermaids. For this one, we did decide on only 1 mermaid because we're doing smaller groups, trying to stagger, you know, keep things safe with COVID. And when you're in the pool, you can't wear a mask, so we knew that this was sort of, you know, a little riskier. Now, up until that point, vaccine mandates were a thing, and they just gotten rid of them. So you didn't have to prove that you were healthy or that you'd had a vaccine to come. I'm not interested in people's opinions. I'm just stating it as a fact that these restrictions dropped, okay? So, first swim, there's nobody there. And then a few kids come in and they're like, oh yeah, we're here for the Mermaid show. And I'm like, show? I mean, it's a swim. I'm in a pool. I'm not putting on a show. I don't have my tank. This isn't an aquarium. I don't have like a script. But I'm thinking this in my head and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that they just don't know what to call it, so that's what they're saying. They don't have swimsuits or anything. And then a few more kids come and they're like, oh yeah, when are you gonna put on your show? What? I am not prepared in the slightest to put on a mermaid show. I can kind of wing it, but it's a shallow pool, so I'm kind of limited in the tricks I can do. And if I'm gonna be doing flips and kicks and stuff, I'm probably not gonna be wearing all this headgear because it's gonna fall off when I do these things. I'm gonna have a nose plug to make it easier. I mean, I had a cape on, all this stuff. And so I'm just like, okay, so it's a swim, it's not a show. Do you guys want to go get your bathing suits? And they're like, oh no, we'll just watch. And they go to sit down. And so this keeps happening. So these people are coming in and kids, and they're not dressed. They don't have anything. Sean, what are we gonna do? This is a swim. It's not a show. I can maybe write something for tomorrow, but I can't just make up a show here on the spot. And he's starting to cry because it overlaps with his nap time. And I'm getting stressed, so Sean just, talks to one of the staff, and there must have been a miscommunication. The person who had done the organizing for the event and made the online advertisements didn't work there anymore, so I think that it was a miscommunication and they just didn't understand. So anyway, everybody thinks it's a show, so they text all the participants who have signed up, and they're like, it's not a mermaid show, it's a swim. You can actually come swim with the mermaid, so bring all your swimming gear and kind of stuff. And these kids decide to turn around and go back and get their swimming gear. So they were supposed to be back-to-back sessions, but it took everyone so long to get ready that the sessions just kind of melded into each other. And it was okay for this first swim. There weren't that many kids, it was fine. I had these two lovely twins. I spent a lot of time talking with them, and it was really nice. And then I found out that their mother was one of the higher ups. I think she was either an owner or a manager or something, but she was like a higher up, and I didn't know that going into it. I'm just being my genuine self, and I love kids, and I love having fun with kids, and River's there, and we're talking and playing, and I actually kind of like that it's a small group because I can, just bounce with what's going on and go with the flow and just have fun, and it takes the pressure off. So it was kind of cool that we made a big impression, and just so happened that her mom was the owner. Whee! So that goes okay. I put on this wig and I put on another outfit, and I'm doing all of this while we're getting River down for a nap. So we go back up to the unit, we get River down for his nap, Mommy has a shower, and Mommy's getting a new outfit on because we're gonna go see our friends, the belly dancers, perform. And I can do some photos, I can hand out some postcards. I didn't realize that things were ending for the day at that point. So we came in just at the end of things to see their performance, and then everything was wrapping up and the kids were going back to their units and stuff, so nobody really wanted to hang out and get pictures with the mermaid. So I had the best intentions. It's just, again, miscommunication, and things happen. They're understaffed because of COVID and everything. It's a whole new world out there. So our friends put on a performance. It's amazing. Poor River gets scared at first because it's very loud music and it shocks him, but then once he's used to it, oh, he's loving it. He's doing a little dance. There's a type of parrot down towards the back, and the parrot is like singing along, and there's a pool full of turtles, and we get to see the turtles and everything, and the twins come and sit with us, and all the kids get to see me, with this gear, and our friends who are performing have elf ears glued on, and they look so cool, and they had a couple hiccups with their act as well. They were doing like LED stuff, and some stuff broke, but it was kind of good because it was a small group and they could get the feel of things and figure it out. So that was the first day, and it was pretty easy. We did decide to have lunch in the hotel that day, and it was so expensive. expensive. It was $50 for 2 sandwiches. If you're giving yourself a treat, I think that's wonderful. I'm not knocking them for their prices. It was very delicious food. It was just not within our budget. So we did that once. And then after that, it was like, okay, we're gonna go to Tim Hortons because that's our only option. There's no restaurants and there's no grocery store. So do your homework and check things before you go. That's a rookie mistake for me, but it was just very overwhelming. I also realized while I was on this gig that I forgot to pay some bills for the Halifax Mermaid Company, and then the Wi-Fi was not very good in this building, and neither was the data. So I had to get an email and wait for half an hour for it to go through to the person who manages my billing. And listen, I will get this fixed the second I get back to good internet. I'm so sorry. I'm just doing my first gig, trying to think of the baby, and I'm not remembering everything. So earlier in the day when I was doing that gig, I met a really sweet little girl and I was giving her a mermaid ride, and then when I went to give her back to her parents, she coughed in my face, which kids do that. The pool makes them cough. And she said something, and I thought she said that she was 6. And I'm like, she doesn't look 6. She looks like she's 3. And then I said, what did you say, honey? And she said, I've been really sick. I'm sick. I'm really sick. And I just looked at Sean and thought, oh no, does really sick mean COVID? Because there's no mandatory requirements anymore where they have to disclose this stuff or not participate. Like, we have no idea. So I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna be careful in case that was a COVID exposure, and we'll just see what happens. And Sean will keep staying in his bed. I'll keep wearing the mats. We'll just keep trying to be careful. So that was sort of my little highlight of something that happened, and that's gonna come into play later, as you can guess. So later that night, we decided to check out the pool and take River to get him swimming before we would go down for the night, put him in his little wetsuit, put him up on my shoulders. I had some bathing suits that Mer Taylor sent me, and I wanted to get some pictures in them. I had done all this stuff to make sure that my hair was okay from the pool. And if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I actually did time-lapse videos of my makeup look for each day of this gig, so you can go and see all that. It's pretty cool. My hair did pretty well, and Riv and I had fun in the pool, and then he had a really good sleep that night, so that was good. The next day, I decided to do an orca look, and this is when we had a much bigger crowd. So I had the white wig and the orca tail. We had a much bigger crowd, much more active, a lot more older kids than I was expecting, very chatty, lots of swimming. So again, Sean is wearing that carrier with River in it. He's walking around with the camera, he's taking pictures, he's taking video, he's chatting with people, he's giving out postcards, he's got a mask on the whole time. River does really well for these swims up until the end. At the end, he's kind of freaking out. And the tricky thing for us, where it's just the two of us, I'm in a wheelchair to get from my changing area to the pool. Sean is pushing me in this wheelchair, and he's also wearing River, or I'm holding River. And then as soon as I get out of these gigs, River is ready to breastfeed and wants to go right to bed. So I'm in this freezing cold storage room holding River, you know, with my wig off, half dressed, soaking wet, feeding him because he can't wait any longer. We tried a bottle. I tried expressing milk beforehand and giving Sean a bottle, and he would not take the bottle. You're just a boob man, aren't you? You're a boob man. Yeah. So that was a bit stressful too, trying to get him to eat. He would not take a bottle, so having to plan everything around breastfeeding, and unfortunately he just had to wait, but he did manage it all right. And yeah, that next day was really fun. Nothing really crazy. We enjoyed the night in, and then the Sunday I did my lionfish look, and we had 2 gigs this day. So we're at the pool, and then we're also at an aquarium, and I'm gonna do a separate video about the aquarium. It's a whole experience in itself, and we can talk about that. I'm in my lionfish look, and that was a really big hit. People really loved that. I also wearing capes through these different gigs, doing a little cape routine. We still have that same prevalent confusion about whether it's a show or a swim, so we're still kind of having to redirect people. And this time we have tons of kids, and I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. COVID is around the corner here, I can tell. There are a lot of children here right now. And I would go into the hot tub with them, and it was really, really fun. So I felt a little relaxed during the gig in that it felt normal for the first time in years, and so I think I let my guard down a little bit. Not to say it's my fault I got COVID, it's not. You know, things happen, but I did kind of forget about it for a little bit, and I was so happy and so charged, and I felt, yeah, I'm doing so great, this gig is so awesome. And then we went and we spent some time at the aquarium, and that's where we got River his little steely seal. We don't have any aquariums in Nova Scotia, but they have this beautiful one in New Brunswick. Again, that'll be the follow-up video to this. And River was really good with that. We had a great time. We tried to socialize with our fellow performers, but we were honestly just so tired from trying to make the schedule work and do things with River. Riv and I had a huge 2-hour nap one day, which was actually really nice. It was just nice to get out of our apartment and get out of the city. One of our mermaids came and took care of our kitties for us while we were gone. It was just really nice. I had one alcoholic drink one night. It was super expensive, but it was a treat, you know? And then it was just time to pack everything up, and I always find packing up to go a bit trickier than packing up to get there, because you realize, oh, okay, a quarter of the stuff I brought we didn't end up using. The pools were too busy, so we didn't do any photos later. We didn't try out the kicks. We didn't try out other outfits. We didn't get to swim with our friends. It was just too hectic and everything. So a lot of that gear that we brought we did not need. It's kind of a bummer packing it back up. And then a lot of stuff was wet. And then just trying to go home, you know, River's tired, we're tired. I've just done 3 gigs in a row and then the aquarium, and I'm starting to feel run down. So when we get home, I'm really not feeling well, and I've picked up a cough, and I say to Sean, you know, just in case, I've read that Omicron, you can be sick for a few days before getting a positive test, but just in case, I'm gonna wear a mask. I don't wanna make anybody else sick if I'm sick. And I think it was 2 or 3 days of being sick before I did test positive, and we confirmed that with a PCR test. So here they give you free rapid tests, so we had rapid tests. That was a bit of a bummer, not gonna lie. I got really sick and it flared all my chronic illnesses, and it made it really difficult for us to take care of River because I'm still breastfeeding River and he co-sleeps with me. So I literally was breastfeeding him and sleeping with a mask because I didn't want River to catch COVID from me. He did end up catching COVID, we don't know from where, over a month later, and I'll talk about that in its own video, but you might have seen we were in the news about it because he actually had a really rough time. But as you can see, he made it at the other end and he's fine now. It was a good time. We're back to healthy, normal River for the most part. Yeah, a little bit of a cough. He was also doing with a lot of teething on the trip, which was a bit hard, and it's just hard for Sean to have to take on all of the childcare because I was just so sick in bed for most of it. I could not do anything. The fatigue was terrible. And you know, even if COVID is not a terrible experience where you end up in the hospital, it's still freaking inconvenient, right? Nobody wants to be sick that long and contagious and confined to their house and worried about how they're gonna care for their baby or get groceries, or it was so frustrating. But thankfully at the time, Sean and River did not get it, and Sean still hasn't had it, so I'm convinced that the cure to COVID is in Sean. The following days after I started to feel better, that's when we start looking at the videos and the pictures and editing everything. I did fire off an email to my contacts, hey look, I got COVID, just in case you catch it or someone else who works. I did let them know because I feel that's the courteous thing to do. You never know when someone's gonna be around someone immune compromised. But I eventually got over it. I eventually got all the pictures uploaded, so they're all on the Halifax Mermaid Facebook page, and some of them are on my group, Raina the Mermaid Sea Fans. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 we had fun. Oh, thank you for coughing in my face. That is the theme right now. The theme right now. Overall, it was very eye-opening, and we are about to take a trip to California, and then in August, just before River's birthday, we're gonna take a trip for a mermaid gig in Digby. So this was really eye-opening to what Sean and I can handle, and also how little we can fit in our car once we've got all the baby stuff and the mermaid stuff. So we're not gonna be able to carpool. That's something we used to do for gigs like this, and we're not gonna be able to do that. So it was a good learning experience. And you know, we were able to use that money Gosh, I can't even remember what we used it for. It was something important too, something with the car or something. I don't know. Anyway, it was very helpful money to have, obviously. And yeah, I don't regret it. I'm just bummed that I caught COVID because I was so sick afterwards, and that's not fun, but it was still magical. I don't know if we can do it again. It'll depend on scheduling. If it works out that I could do it again, I would, and I have ideas. Maybe I would give lessons or something. The facility is lovely. Just a few lessons learned that maybe you can take from me. So yeah, that's my video. We have had so many views on these videos. I'm extremely thankful for all your support, but I really appreciate if you would smash that like and smash that subscribe button because it helps more people see us. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we can then open up a lot more stuff like live streams and monetizing. You can also check out my main channel, Raina the Mermaid, also patreon.com/RainaMermaid, and of course I have lots of discount codes available that are listed in the description. And join my fan club, Raina the Mermaid Sea Fans. And yeah, there's got lots of stuff there. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm not very good at TikTok. I feel very old on TikTok, but it's fun. And River is feeling better, and he's healthy, and he's watching Cocomelon. And we love you guys. Best fishes! You can tell when I get excited because I keep dropping all the likes, right? How you doing, bud? You okay down here? You want to sit up? Look, it's the Muffin Man. It's the Muffin Man. Hey, hey, hey. It's the Muffin Man. You're sitting on something. Again, River is in that carrier with Sean, who's walking around. Are you farting on my videos? I wonder if they could hear that. Maybe they could, so I'm going to start that sentence again. It's your ducky one that you like, isn't it? Okay, I'll start that again.